So risk assessment and internal control. I already told when I'm explaining documentation chapter, the beginning topic that we discussed is audit procedures. What is an audit procedure? Broad way of conducting audit. Why do we conduct audit? In order to obtain sufficient and appropriate audit evidence. We call it as audit procedure. It's a broad framework. Whatever you do in entire audit, we call it as audit procedure. Something I do in audit, some process, some procedure I follow while conducting audit to get evidence regarding whether financial statements are free from material misstatements or not. So that is audit procedure. And I told you audit procedure consists of two parts. See, this and all we have already covered. Just I'm giving you one backdrop introduction. So risk assessment procedure, further audit procedure. Risk assessment procedure, auditor will identify and assess the risk of material misstatements through understanding entity and its environment. I told you this is nothing but SA 315. Now this is what we are entirely discussing in this chapter. So once you get an idea about the risk, once you understand the entity and its environment, now you can plan your audit. Now you can plan your audit. You can sit with engagement team, design audit plan, and then send the team. Now what engagement team has to do? They need to conduct further audit procedure, which are again divided into compliance procedure and substantive procedure. Suppose I am the engagement team number 1. I am the team member 1. So for me, they have given me purchases audit. First I will do purchases compliance procedure. First I will check all the controls in purchases. I told you the risk control matrix. So I will verify all the controls in the purchases. Then I will take some sample purchase transactions. Some sample purchase transactions I will take and I will verify the purchase sample. That is substantive procedure, reality verification. So risk assessment procedure is something which you do before you start the audit. In fact, I can say risk assessment process is a continuous process. I can even say risk assessment process is a continuous process. Risk assessment is not a one-time process. You should be alert. To identify risk. You should be alert to identify risk throughout the audit. You should even tell your team members that they should be careful. See, as a partner, I conducted risk assessment of the company. I saw company, factory. I went to the head office. I went to the corporate office. I have seen go downs. I understood how they make purchases, how they make sales, how they make payments, how they receive payments, what are the bank accounts companies have, what is the company business, what are the policies and procedures. I did extensive research for 3-4 days at the beginning. Whatever I understood about the company, I told my team. In addition to this, I will also tell my team members that whenever you're doing audit, be careful. I'm only giving you certain inputs. I'm only giving you certain insights. You have to again find out risks on your own. There will be many other risks which I would have not identified. I verified purchases as a whole. I don't know what is in-depth purchase process. So dear member, you do compliance procedure. You are doing purchases. You verify entire purchase process. See where and all risks are there. So risk assessment is a continuous process. It's not a one-time process. So that is risk assessment. More about risk assessments I'll discuss later. First, let us understand why should we do risk assessment. Why we should do risk assessment. What is the objective of audit? What is the objective of audit? What is the objective of audit? In one way, I can say the objective of audit is to obtain. What is it? To obtain reasonable assurance. Reasonable assurance that whether financial statements are free from material misstatements. What is the objective? Getting reasonable assurance. What is meant by reasonable assurance? I need to get a reasonable assurance that financial statements are okay, they're true and fair. I need to have a reasonable assurance. This can be explained in another sentence. What is the objective of audit? To minimize the audit risk. What I can say? To minimize the audit risk. To minimize the audit risk. If you see SA 315 context, if you observe in SCA 315, this is SCA 200 context. This is SCA 200 context. What is the objective of audit? If I have to speak from risk assessment context, what is the objective of audit is? The objective of audit from the context of risk assessment is to minimize audit risk. This is another view of objective of audit. Nobody will look into this as an objective. They only say auditor has a duty to minimize the risk. No. Auditor objective in the context of risk assessment, is to minimize the audit risk. Everyone are there? I hope, yeah. Now see, now we have used it for the first time, the word called audit risk. We have used it for the first time in all these days, the term audit risk. Sir, what is an audit risk? Tell me first of all, let us split the word. It consists of two words, audit, risk. Audit means what? What is the objective of audit? To give opinion. To give opinion. Tell me, I'll unmute somebody. Sankalpana, you come back. What is the objective of audit? To give opinion. Are you there? Are you there? Yeah, now tell me, to give opinion means which opinion? To give appropriate opinion? I mean, to give a correct opinion or incorrect opinion? What is the objective? Tell me, what is the meaning of audit? What is the objective of audit? Kalpana, what is the objective of audit? My objective is to give the opinion which is correct, or my objective is to give an opinion which is incorrect.
Correct opinion.
I must give, obviously, my opinion should be correct. Now tell me, can my opinion be 100% correct?
Approximately correct.
Approximately. Is there a possibility that my opinion go wrong?
Yes, sir.
Yes. That possibility is called as risk. Risk means what? Not meeting your goal, not meeting your objective, not meeting your objective. That is called risk. Yes or no? See, I have a goal. What is my goal? To give opinion. What is risk here? I may give opinion, but may be wrong. Or I may not give opinion. But not giving opinion, there is no risk. Tell me, I will give you two situations. In which of these two situations it is more risky for the auditor? Be careful. Financial statements are actually correct. Financial statements are actually correct. But you discovered some mistakes. You discovered some material mistakes, but which are not rectified in the financials as a whole. But as a whole, financial statements are not that misleading. They are actually correct. They are actually correct. But the sample, whatever you selected, no, in every sample there is a mistake. But you thought, Sankalpana, you thought financial statements are as a whole are so many mistakes, and you gave a modified opinion. In fact, you gave an adverse opinion on the financial statements which are actually correct. So this is case one. This is case one. Case two. Financial statements are completely false and misleading. The financial statements are completely false and misleading. This is the fact, ground reality. But you don't know this. What you do, you have taken a sample. You have taken a sample of purchases, sales, payment, receipt, fixed assets, current assets, inventory, cash, whatever. You have taken a sample. That sample you verified, and you did not find a single mistake. You did not find a single mistake. And because you did not find a single mistake, what will you assume, Sankalpana, if you did not find any mistake?
Will give unmodified opinion.
So you assume there is no mistake, and you give obviously unmodified opinion, which means you say financial statements are completely correct. Actually, in ground reality, are they that correct?
No, they are not.
No. Now tell me, this is a case one, this is a case two. In which of the following cases the risk is very, very high?
Second case.
Why?
Because actually the sample which you took is not the correct one, sir. We just took a sample from a...
Okay, I understood the reason. I understood. Why second case is risky? See, in both the cases I gave wrong opinion. Correct or not, Sankalpana?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
In first case, actually I should give some either qualified or unqualified. But I gave completely, I'm saying financial statements are not at all correct, I'm saying. In case two, financial statements are not at all correct. But I'm saying everything is correct. Which is more risky? Which is dangerous?
Second case is dangerous.
Second case is dangerous because in second case public will lose money. In first case, public may not lose money. See, in first case, no, first simple Sankalpana, financials are actually correct. I said everything is wrong. Subsequently, if at all, to my luck, some fraud is discovered, will somebody come and question me? Even if somebody come and question me in case one, sir, what are you doing? Arey, yeah, that's what I told. No, they are completely wrong. I told already. Is there anybody? Do anybody can question me if I give already negative opinion? No. But in case 2, I said everything is correct. So many frauds are discovered. Now everyone will come and question me. So definitely for me, case 2 is risky. So the definition of audit risk also upholds case 2. Audit risk means only case 2, not case 1. This is not audit risk. What is risk for the auditor? What is risky for the auditor? It is risky for the auditor to say everything is fine when everything in fact is not fine. It is not risky for the auditor to say everything is not fine when in fact they are fine. Are you clear?
Yes, sir.
So you see the definition of audit risk. You see the definition of audit risk now. Let us develop the audit risk definition. It is a risk. It is a risk that auditor gives an inappropriate opinion. Auditor gives an inappropriate opinion. Here itself definition was not stopped. The definition was extended. This is the most important term. This is the most important risk that auditor gives an inappropriate opinion when the financial statements are materially misstated. This is the most important extension of the definition, which makes it clear that only case 2 is audit risk, not case 1. Tell me, Sankalpana, when financial statements are materially misstated, which opinion you should give?
Unmodified opinion.
Unmodified?
See, adverse opinion.
Let us assume modified means adverse. See, for me, no. Unqualified opinion and qualified opinion are not much difference because both are actually positive opinions, correct? No?
Yes, sir.
Whereas adverse opinion is a negative opinion. Disclaimer opinion is not an opinion at all. It is not an opinion at all. So let us exclude disclaimer opinion from the discussion of risk concept. There are only 2 opinions which auditor can give, either unqualified, qualified, or adverse. Means either positive opinion or negative opinion. Now tell me, when financial statements are materially misstated, financial statements are containing so many mistakes, will you give positive opinion or negative opinion? Negative opinion. You should give what opinion? Negative. So negative opinion will be appropriate, correct?
Yes, sir.
But you are giving which opinion? Inappropriate opinion you are giving. Inappropriate means what is appropriate is negative. What is inappropriate here?
Positive.
Exactly. Suppose if you give positive opinion on financial statements which are materially misstated, that is audit risk. Which means what is not an audit risk? Suppose you gave negative opinion. You gave negative opinion on financial statements which are not material misstated. Can I call this as audit risk? No. Are you getting it? In fact, can audit risk be 0? Can audit risk is equal to 0? I can say yes only when auditor give adverse opinion. No? When you give adverse opinion, your risk is absolutely 0. Your risk is absolutely 0. Why? Because when you give adverse opinion, when financial statements are materially misstated, financials are misstated, you are also giving adverse opinion. Your duty is done. You don't have any risk. Tomorrow nobody can question you. Even if they question you, you can easily tell them what I already said is repeated. But when you give an unmodified opinion or modified opinion, it is something risky for you. You always carry the risk. Now tell me, when I'm giving unmodified opinion or when I'm giving qualified opinion, in both these cases, can audit risk be 0?
No, sir.
Can audit risk be 0?
No, sir.
No. Sudhir also said no. Are you clear? Now, why audit risk comes into picture? Now, why audit risk exists? Why audit risk exists? Sir, you said when we give a wrong opinion, when we give inappropriate opinion, or when you give an unmodified opinion on financial statements where modified opinion is suitable, or you are giving a positive opinion on the financials where negative is suitable, you are saying this is a risk, right? First of all, why this risk exists, why this risk is coming to picture. The risk is coming to picture because of two reasons. Because of two reasons. The audit risk is coming into picture because of two reasons. What are they? Risk of material misstatement is one reason. Detection risk is another reason. What is another detection risk? Sir, why audit risk is existing? Why audit risk is coming into picture? What are the factors for audit risk? Two factors. Risk of MMS and detection risk. What is risk of MMS? What is risk of MMS? It is a risk that financial statements are containing material misstatement. See, Sankalpana, obviously financial statements will contain mistakes. No doubt about it, they will contain mistakes. Okay, let them contain. If you detected all the mistakes, Kalpana, tell me, if you detected all the mistakes, which opinion you will give?
Adverse opinion.
Obviously. So financial statements, let them contain risk. Let the financial statements contain mistakes. If you discover, tell me, when you discover all the mistakes, can you reduce the risk or not?
Yes, sir.
When your risk will increase if you fail to detect, not detected. Detection risk means what? Not detected. Getting it?
Yes,
The detection risk means you have not detected material misstatements. Material mistakes are there in the financial statements, but you have not detected. Mistakes are there and you have not detected. Since you have not detected, what will you assume? Since I have not detected, I verified all the purchases, everything is right. You felt everything is right, nothing is wrong. You give positive opinion.
Yes, sir.
Now, you are giving positive opinion because you are not identifying mistakes. You have not identified mistakes, even if there are mistakes. Mistakes are there, plus you have not identified. That is contributing to audit risk. Are you clear?
Yes, sir.
This is audit risk analysis. Getting it? So we'll continue balance audit risk related discussion in the next class. Still so much is there to discuss about audit risk. Now, why risk of MMS comes into picture? Tell me Sankalpana, one more point. Risk of MMS, no, it is arising because of management or it is arising because of auditor?
Auditor, sir.
Risk of MMS, financial statements are containing mistakes.
Yes,
It is in the control of whom? Can auditor control
no,
financial
management,
statements?
sir.
Management.
Yes.
Detection risk, it is under whose control?
Auditor's control.
Exactly.
To detect.
Detection risk is something which auditor can control to some extent, but risk
Yes.
of MMS is beyond auditor's control. That is something which arises because of management.
Yes.
Whether you do audit or not, risk of MMS will always exist. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Whether financials are audited or not, risk of MMS always exists. Why we do audit? In order to detect them. Why you have to detect them? If you detect them, you will say financial statements are not correct. If you fail to detect them, if you think there are no mistakes, you will get positive opinion.
Yes, sir.
That's it. Okay.